Hey, it's Kyle. We're on the Sort of Okay show about horses with, I don't even know, this other guy used to be on here called Buck. And Kyle, that's me, in case you were wondering. Someday I'm going to have to shave my head almost bald, and then I'll come on, lose a couple inches, and come on as Buck because he seems to be very vacant from the Buck and Kyle show. Anyways, it was more than sort of an okay day at the event. I mean, it was an unbelievable competition. The dressage at Young Riders, where we are, the championships, was unbelievable. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Just want to give the big shout out to the sponsor for these episodes. This is Young Riders episodes only, and Omega Alpha has come on so generously and helped us get this done, so that it forced the editing and everything. So really awesome. I really encourage you guys to check out their products, go to their website. It helps us help them, and you're going to find that it's very good, very useful, very good products for your horses, top quality stuff, has a great effect on them. There's so many products on there. And when we support people who support us, or when you support people that support us, we can hopefully again take this stuff and make it into a little more professional. Maybe Buck will start showing up. But it has made it so it's been great to cover the 4 days, and it's forced me even more to watch the competition and be much more aware of the riders and things, mispronounce their names on a more regular basis, embarrass some of them, compliment some of them. I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum because I really don't want to talk about Young Riders anymore. It's been a very long week, but it was awesome. The venue did a great job. The footing is absolutely second to none. The scenery is beautiful here. Colorado is a wonderful place. I mostly just saw the horse park, but the view, the people are great. Every time you drive into town, there's people riding bikes, running, doing stuff. It's a really great state, I think. I really have enjoyed it. The cross-country course was really well put together. The time was hard enough to make, but it was a safe course, and I think it was very successfully put together there. And then I have to say, and I got his name earlier, and I've unfortunately misplaced it, but the show jumping jump designer did an amazing job. It is the best course I have seen at the Young Riders. I've been doing this 16 years. I think it was probably the most correct course for this competition that I probably have ever seen. Bromont had a very, very good course. It was big, but it was very fair. This one, though, did absolutely the right thing. It tested the riders for their skill level. It asked for the carefulness of the horse and the adjustability and the jumping. But it started at the 1-star a little bit, one fence after another, with just a nice, easy run to it before it asked the combination questions. And if you've been to Young Riders, and I always say it, I'm like, on the last day of Young Riders in the 1-star, it is just don't fall off and don't get lost, and you'll probably win a medal. And that sounds a bit extreme, but medals on the team have been lost and won because people have fallen off, horses have added strides, because I don't think the course has made enough sense for this competition. This time the guy did a great job. There's still plenty of rails, lots of ins and moving up and moving down on the scoreboard. Absolutely appropriate, and I think he should be commended. And I think if you run an event, you should consider seeking this guy out. I understand he's a younger guy, and how disrespectful, I don't have his name here, but just did a fantastic job. And then in the 2-star, he ramped it up and asked a lot more of the horses earlier. I think when you put it together, there was probably 5 real questions out there of combinations of fences or bending lines in the 2-star, and the height was right, but the horses, they jumped great because the footing was good yesterday and everything, and the kids rode incredible, but I think the course was absolutely appropriate for the level. So huge kudos there, because it's one thing that you hate to come away from one of these thinking, not about the win, but how when you lost, it was so miserable. So loved that, thought it was great. The organization, the staff did a fantastic job. The whole committee, I think, did a great job. Their show manager was unbelievable at keeping the rings watered and taking care of it and everything like that. That said, the show manager, there's a rumor out there right now that I was arrested last night. That was incorrect. But someone played a prank on me, and the show officials and managers and staff got a little excited. I had no idea what was going on to begin with, but I was surrounded by 4 security guards, and that was, a little bit of a surprise. But then the show managers got a little bit kind of in a huff about that, and this rumor started that I got carted off in a cop car. So any of you out there that are saying that, not this time I didn't, but I'm not saying it never happened before. Anyways, a couple other things. This is our 21st episode. So this episode, the Sort of Okay show about horses, is now legal to drink. So there'll be a celebration for that. That's really important. And we're going to start doing these and trying to get them more regular every second. We're going to try and get an episode out every second week. These are just the highlights for stuff going on right now. And hope you check out the fantasyequestrianteams.com, because they've got a lot of shows and competitions coming up that you can go and pick your teams on and try and create something like the Olympics or Young Riders. So now for the actual competition. In show jumping, the horses all look good this morning as far as soundness. I was pretty impressed with how they all came through it. In the show jumping, the kids rode incredible. And every year, it's sometimes a little bit of a horror show, and I hate to say it. I mean, we've all been there. As you're learning, you go in that pressure situation, the wheels start coming off fast, and it's hard to regroup. And usually you see that amongst the especially under 18 group. Unbelievable, the character they showed there today. And not that like it was like a random one or two, which is usually what you see. The whole field just went in there and rode admirably. If they had a rail, they put it behind them, didn't start riding badly. If they were riding well and things were going well, and late in the course they started to feel desperate, you never saw a sign of it. I cannot believe the quality of this one-star group. You guys all should be applauded, because from the whole time I got out there, I never saw that moment. So the quality and the caliber of these riders is really coming up. Their dressage showed it. I mean, the scores showed it. We had I think we had 10 under 50. I mean, it was unbelievable, the performances. And they're young kids, so it's freaking unbelievable what's going on here. Big shout out to Area 1. They won the one-star on a very good score and had they had a lot in hand. What were they? They were 50 to 60. So they had 10 points in hand at the end of the weekend. Area 1 has been a wasteland for years as far as the Young Rider program. It started to sort of regain momentum, but they've come on strong here, and these kids look great. One of their individuals won the silver medal on a little horse, the Evil Munchkin, who I helped his first rider win a medal on him at Young Riders a few years ago at the one-star level. Was very successful at the two-star level. Great horse. And I started helping the girl produce him sort of the year, I don't know, the year of his 6-year-old year, I think. Anyways, so this new girl's got him and did an incredible show jumping around on him. He was absolutely probably one of the best jumping horses of the day. He's a very good jumper, but he just looked a picture of it. His ears were forward, his eyes were looking out the bridle. The horse absolutely was so exuberant over the jumps. It was fantastic to watch. And she wasn't even on their team, and they won with this, Mark. So obviously going to be a force to reckon with, because these Young Rider programs usually do build on a year-to-year. You hope to have the same team back the next year, and this is a young team. So everybody's going to have to step up their game, including Area 3, who was second, and that's my team. I thought they rode great. They had 2 rails today through the counting score. They had 2 rails, and it was very well ridden. Unfortunately, Haley, who was in third, had a rail the very first jump down, but she put it behind her and rode the rest of the round really well and helped us keep our silver medal position. So I was really proud of Area 3. This is a young group as well. There's a bunch of good horses there, and I think that it's going to be very strong in the future as well. Probably like the next, maybe not next year, but the year after, the 2-star cycle should look very good. And then Area 6 did a great job. It sort of staggers everything out, but just getting those really good scores and putting 3 and 4 points or scores up on the board that are usable is a feat at these things, anyways. So we'll go to the team, I guess the team 2-star competition, then we'll go to the individuals, because that's what I've got up here. Here we go. The 2-star Area, 5 and it looks like 9. That's right, 9. Won the team gold. They came in a little slow on the flat, they were a little behind, but those guys all jumped great. They jumped really well today in show jumping, and they were very impressive yesterday on cross country. So it's nice on, that they were able to, do a class job all weekend. Then Ontario and Alberta, so Canada basically, they ended up second. That was a bit of a tough one. They should have been fighting a little closer to the team that won for sure. They had a great start off in dressage, and then just with experienced horses, sort of gave away some marks yesterday. So it was a little unfortunate because I really thought they had the win this year. I don't know how it just sort of slipped away from them, but still ended up second, and there was some very good riding there today. And then for bronze, we have area. I'm gonna have to learn my Roman numerals here. It looks like 6 and 8, and yeah, that is it. And they did a very good job today as well. The one horse kind of went a little bit off the scales on the scoreboard, but to hear the backstory was quite something. It was Dauntless Courage, and her rein broke in the middle of the round. And this is what I'm saying about these kids holding their head together. So really big shout out to Chelsea Coleman. Rein breaks in the middle of right before the triple in the 2-star. I don't know if I was warming someone up, so I don't know if it broke while she was approaching the fence or if he jumped to the side or something. But kid leans forward, ties the rein up onto the bit. It took her a while to do it, but it didn't take her as long as you would expect. I thought she was gonna have to give up because it looked like it was impossible to tie on. Goes on, had to think a rail down right after the triple, and then she might have had one more later in the course. But really impressive control in her head, made up as much time as she could without being a fool about it. It was like really impressive to see, and she needs a huge shout out for that one. And he did a great job, going along as well. It wasn't like it wasn't like it's just a single performance out there. So that was pretty awesome to see, although I felt very bad for her. So there's your shout out for your teams. The 1-star grouping is God, they finished, they had a lot of horses finish, and that is such a feat. Love that. So unfortunately, it looks like my plan to have the individual scores is not panned out here. All right, so we're back. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical malfunction. This is the sort of things that your sponsorship dollars will take care of. It's like you're giving to UNICEF, isn't it? So in the 1-star, the final results, it was an incredibly great 1-star group at the end. It was really exciting to watch. I don't care if you like anything in competition, you wanted to see this going on. I already gave a shout out to Evil Munchkin, who ended up second, because that horse did jump for fun, and it was great to see him going here. The really cool thing is, like I said about Nick Holmes Smith and his daughters, they're riding here. And he was a team rider. He rode in 2 Olympics for us, World Championships or 2. I mean, his 2 kids rode great all weekend. Their dressage was fantastic. I got the pleasure of watching both of them ride today. And Carmen Holmes Smith won the competition on a 45. She jumped an incredible round, really classy. Kid's got a great eye, great sense of balance. I like the horse a lot. Apparently she stole it from her mother, which I'm thinking that's horrible, and that maybe I should steal it from her to pay her back, because this thing has just had a great gallop yesterday. It jumped fantastic, but it was very, very, very well ridden by her. So she's 18, aging into the 2-star now, and hopefully she'll be back in a couple of years, and maybe we'll have another Canadian win at the 2-star level, because this is a big competition, and when the younger Canadians are coming in and winning, it says a lot about what we can do in the future in our country, which is awesome. Evil Munchkin was second. That horse was great. Is great, will continue to be great. Cornelia Dorr, she on Sir Patico, had a really nice round. It was very consistent. The horse looked very, very well within itself. So I was really thrilled to see that, because again, it was a quality ride, and was a bit almost unnerving how well these kids rode through that last bit. Bellowing Pizzazz ended up 4th. That horse is an unbelievable horse. I think I mentioned him in the first show, and I'm not surprised at all to see him in the leaderboard right at the top. The Evil Munchkin horse right at the top. After dressage, I was pretty certain that we'd see a Holmes Smith up there somewhere. Anik, unfortunately, the horse just didn't. It actually jumped quite well. Just had that one rail that knocked her out of first and dropped her out of it to fifth. And it's a tough situation to be in because you're kind of walking home knowing it was a good weekend, but knowing that nobody pays attention there, and it's sort of like a knife in the heart. But kid rode great, and the horse looks really good, and I think that that'll be fun to watch in the future, and hopefully that knife in the heart doesn't hurt too much. Although again, she's the one that called me old the other day, so I feel bad for her, but don't pour any vinegar on that wound. Anyways, really happy with that. With, like I said, what I saw in that round, in those rounds, and we'll go on to the 2-star now because we have them up there. And there's so many to cover in the 1-star; it'd be difficult to get them all done. So in the 2-star, we had Zip held on to his third place with Elena Hengel. He had a couple rails, but he'd really put himself out there in the dressage. And then other than she did have the time penalties on cross country, but she still was healthy enough to stay into third, which was fantastic. Because close behind her, Zoe Crawford, and she's from Area 3, did a very nice show jumping around. She had the last rail down, and it cost her the ability to stand on the podium. And I would have put my money on that horse jumping clean. It has been a freak over the fences all week. If you watch any video of it from cross country, you're going to see what a good horse it is. Kid's a great rider. Doesn't get bothered when the mare's being a bit womanly. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's got all this energy. It knows it wants to do something, and it is just looking for the thing it needs to do, and it's going to apply all of its energy into that. Okay, and I love the mares for that. When they are wanting it, they want it, and that's why I really kind of thought she was going to get that clear round today. It does, she does do, and comes from pure show jumping. Jeannie Clark is her coach and has done a great job producing her up to this point. So, that's awesome. Then obviously, right behind them, Bliss 3, which was one of the horses I mentioned in the earlier show, Alyssa Phillips. That thing is just so much fun to watch. I only got to see a little bit in the warm-up, but if you get the chance to watch it, it's like the absolute class. I was trying to think of the horse it reminded me of, and I have to say I think it's the one that Maya Black rode this spring to third at Rolex. It is such a athletic animal, and this one very much mirrors it. So going the other way, unfortunately at the top we had a switch from, not unfortunately, but there was a switch from first to second. Cleric Cargill had a very, very good round, but she had the first jump down, which was really unfortunate for her because it just moved her out of first. She had a couple time penalties, and it looks like she would have ended up missing the first place anyways. But after she had her first rail, which I think she knew very well, that it frustrated her attempts to win the gold, she did. She continued to ride well, and she was able to put it behind her. The horse looked like he was jumping really well, and it looked like it was just a real unlucky spot to be because it's a very good horse, and I think it's a very, very good show jumper. So I felt bad for her, for that because it is frustrating, but it's certainly, again, you come home on the day with a silver medal. Don't get too bothered by it. You want to celebrate the victory that it is. And then first place ended up being Shelby Brost. She I should know the name, shouldn't I? On Crimson. Shelby rides with me. She's been down with me for a couple of years. She came in as she'd successfully done training, but was really unsuccessful at the prelim with another horse. We brought him through, and he ran intermediate, and we sold him last spring. He's out here actually in Colorado winning, or this spring. Really nice horse, but Shelby sort of needed to be mounted up a little bit, and so Crimson came into the barn, and Shelby's been working with her for a little while. She won the silver medal last year at Young Riders at the 1-star, and actually, sorry, I think she won the bronze, but she jumped a really good round today. The mare jumped out of a little bit of a mistake at the very last line, but everything else, the kid rides great, sits in a really good balance, and she's held it together all weekend. She's able to ride within herself very well. She got a 50 on the flat, knew she had to jump double clear on cross country, or was supposed to, and showed up at the championship. It was the first time she's made time. Then showed up today, a lot of pressure. We all know what it means. You have that rail and you move out of any spot that you want, and it's so frustrating. So she was able to put the pressure behind her, which she's very good at, and kept the horse up in a great canter. It's a very nice horse, loves to jump, and jumped a clear round, and took it to first, which was just such a pleasure to watch. She's been a great girl to work with. She's always turned out immaculately. An example of people talk about, she love their horse and all that. This morning, I think she iced the horse. The horse looks great, but after the jog, she iced it a couple times because she wants to take care of it at the highest possible standard, and that's just the way that she is. So I come back after show jumping. She's won the medal. Everybody's celebrating. It's really exciting. I'd gone to pick up my bag at the hotel. I get back there. There's like a couple hours later. There's Shelby standing with her horse in the whirlpool boots, just giving her one more time. She'd already done it one other time after show jumping, just to make sure she was taking care of the best that possibly could be taken care of. And you got to love it when you don't have to worry about them doing stuff like actually taking care of their horse correctly. And she is that person. She tries really hard in her riding to ride as well as possible. She always is very good at crediting her horse, and she has been a pleasure to have around. Now, it's easy for me to say this because she's a student of mine, but she really has earned that spot. She's only 18 years old, and she to have her win is just a real privilege for me. But it's really cool again for Canada. They won the 1-star and the 2-star. So for all of this stuff that's going on right now that we just had a show about and continues to kind of go on in Canada, the future looks pretty bloody bright. And I think you have to kind of look around and say, well, how can we build upon that? And the real trick there is you got to find people in positions that can help bring them on to their successes, and care enough about it to recognize the ones that are capable. Because I saw a bunch this weekend that would fit the mold. Again, it's not a 3-year deal. It'll be 10 years down the road. So it was fantastic for Canada. Obviously, being Canadian, it was a very nice exercise to watch as well, to hear the national anthem played in that stadium. So I was very happy with that. It was a great weekend. I was also given an award for the first, Mike Huber Award for not volunteerism, but contributing to young riders today. And it's the first year it was given, and I was nominated for it and won it. And it means a lot and the reason it means a lot, it's great to receive something like that. And I've been doing this a long time, and I've had good success in it. I've been very fortunate to work with these fantastic kids and fantastic talents. But what was really meaningful to me is it's Mike Huber. Mike Huber is the person, when I started doing this, I would look to and I'd be like, Mike is the absolute epitome of what a young rider coach should be like. He's absolutely a professional. He's knowledgeable. He'll go in, fight for his team in meetings. He will do, and knows all the gamut, all the specifics of this and how to run it. And to be the first person to get that is an honor, but to know that it's to follow the leadership of someone like Mike Huber and all the things he's done. He's ridden on the team. He's been the president of the USEA. He's been a selector for the team, and he's coached successfully at Young Riders for years. We've gone back and forth with Area 5, Area 3 for the last probably 6 years. It's been a real tight battle. We usually win because, of course, we're Area 3. But just the way that he handles himself, it's and so it's a real privilege because of who it is. And it's I'm happy to have someone like that actually hand me something. Although he handed me a bunch of empty whiskey glasses, and I think he should have actually filled those. All right, enough of all that. I think that says it all. And so the Young Rider program now is done for this year, and the Young Rider competition is done for this year. And I'm exhausted, so I'm going to try to get to bed. Thanks for watching. Hey, Kyle here for the Sort of Okay show about horses again. Just wanted to remind you to check out fantasyequestrianteams.com because the Olympic teams are now coming up to be picked, and Buck and myself are going to go on there and pick our Olympic teams and try to win a little bit and beat each other, because I'm much better at this than him, as I've proven over and over again. And so you need to go on there and put your picks up and see if you can beat or do as well as us. I have a feeling you will, because we both were really bad when we opened it to the public. And that's the pre-Olympic picks on fantasyequestrianteams.com. And you can pick actually dressage, show jumping, or eventing. So it's not like there's just one for eventing, although eventing is obviously a lot more interesting. And you can go on there and you actually can win 50% of the take. So if 100,000 people go on there, there'll be a lot of money to get in there and try and win. And it's all skill. So again, if it's skill, Buck's out of the picture. And what do you know? He's out of the picture because he hasn't shown up. Thanks.